Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming to my stream. It's really nice to see all you guys day after day. And again, this is kind of new to me, and I really, truly appreciate it when you guys show up. So let's take a look at what's happening in the market. On the left side, you can see the stock market here, and this is not going good. This NASDAQ future is down 2.69%. I know that's baby number in terms of blockchain or crypto, but 2.66%, it's quite a bit of everyone's money in the market. In the traditional market, it's much bigger than crypto market. So what's going on? Why is the tech market down 2.66%? Well, there's something that we might need to worry about as crypto people. So let's take a look at here. So Facebook, it's down 23% in the pre-market right now. That's huge. For a company as big as Facebook, which is worth almost $1 billion, $1 trillion, they went down 23% pre-market. Now, people may remember that Facebook rebranded their company to call Meta, which means they are trying to get into the crypto business. They're trying to get into this metaverse hype. I remember when they rebranded and everybody was like, what the WTF? What's going on, Facebook? Why would you call yourself that? So people are kind of feeling weirded out by that. So it wasn't a good reception when they changed the name. Now Facebook is kind of getting wrecked right now because they had a good earnings. They had a good earnings quarter, but their guidance for the next few quarters is actually down. So for the first time, they're actually losing users. Is that because people don't want to do metaverse? They don't want to do DeFi gaming, blockchain gaming, all that stuff? Who knows? But it seems like this is what the direction is going. So 23% is dragging the whole market down. It's certainly dragging the crypto market down as well based on this news. People are not, Facebook, like it or not, they're like one of the bigger promoters of crypto. So if they go down, we bound to see some of the side effects of that. So yeah, Facebook, oof, rough. And then the entire crypto market, we are sort of retracing quite a bit for some coins. Solana is the biggest. Well, we'll talk about why Solana is the biggest. But all of these other coins, the top 10 coins, are kind of getting wrecked as well. I don't know why Cardano is still doing here at number 6. But yeah, Ethereum down 6%. Bitcoin is holding itself up quite well compared to all the other coins. Now, all of these other stuff that we actually invested in is kind of wrecked as well, to say the least. So for those of you who were there on Dani's AMA, it was kind of a boring session. I wouldn't even call it an AMA. It's more like ask me things that I will filter out and only choose to answer. So it was like a pre-selected questions for his AMA session. So yeah, the price reacted after that, and after that session, that AMA session, I live streamed it live while we were there. We had some fun. But this is not good. Like even when I updated my dinosaur drawing, it actually went down to the neckline of the dinosaur chart. So this is when AMA happens. It went all the way down. It's like 19K. So we're like, what is this? What's going on? Are we actually gonna just go to 0 or something? Yeah, it's not good. So we're just waiting. There's not much new development in Dani Wonderland. We're just on a holding pattern. I think the summary what Dani said was that I think he said rebases stopped, but some people were still able to confirm that rebases are continuing. And he did said that he's looking into other proposals, he knows about Harry A and all that stuff. He's probably gonna take a long break after this to heal. So it's kind of like, fix. We all want him to fix it, but like how now? It's a good question. But currently, as you can see, people are still dumping. Some are buying. I don't know who's buying. I don't know who's dumping. It's probably computers. But it seems to be kind of, yeah, kind of weird. You know, this whole thing. We don't know. This is like hitting the all-time low again. We don't really know where it's going. So if you guys are still holding it, you have to keep up with the news to see if it's possible for you to recover your money. If you sold already, then yeah, you can watch from the side. Not really much you can do. Really, not much you can do. So, looking at other coins, a lot of my other coins are totally getting wrecked. This is like altcoins are getting hit much harder than Bitcoin or Ethereum because just due to the nature of altcoins, when they go up, they do go up higher. So yeah, some of my coins are not doing good. Like Harmony token, Jewel is getting wrecked. It's like $6, man. That sucks. My average price is about 8 something, 850. So this is just brutal. People's like, what other project are you invested in? Well, this is the other project. It's like you got head and shoulder pattern, but you totally skip the other shoulder. You just go straight down. So it went from like 20 bucks back down to 6.4.3 right now. That's a brutal drop. I mean, darn. I didn't sell when I was up so much from this. Now I'm just regrets. So what do you learn from this? What can you learn from this? It's probably take profits. I mean, that's the number one thing. When you feel the euphoria, when you feel like you're rich, when you feel like nothing can go wrong, or when you feel like, oh, it could never go back down to my buy price ever again because it was so high up. Well, in crypto, this can happen, and it can happen fast. This happened in the span of a week. Look at that. 20 bucks to 7. So this is literally in a week you win. It's nuts. I am not happy about this investment. I'm totally like sad. I'm sad about this one. I'm sad about this one more than Wonderland actually. So I got more money in here. So it's not looking good for the year so far. It's probably one of the worst Januaries ever. So hopefully February we can turn around, but it doesn't seem like it. We're down so much. Yeah, on top of that, you know what else? We got hacks. So apparently, I did a video about this, this whole DeFi thing. Like we got a huge, this is the second largest DeFi hacks ever. That happened last night. And the bridge lost $320 million worth of Ether. That's 1/3 of the TVL in Wormhole. So for those of you who don't know, Wormhole is kind of like a bridge, but for Solana and Ethereum and these other chains. It's written in Solana's language, which is Rust, and it's kind of new. For those of you who don't know, Solana doesn't use the same programming language as Ethereum, so you can't just copy the code over to something. It needs to be coded from the start, and there's going to be a lot of bugs, possibly. And in this case, it was a bug. But it's a very, very costly bug that could destroy your whole company. So, yeah, so DeFi, second largest. It's not a good headline for us, obviously. We're all going to drop on this. Ethereum is probably going to get affected, but mostly Solana's getting wrecked. So people make fun of Solana. It's like, oh, it's going down every other day. Oh, it's controlled by VC. Oh, it's mostly owned by VC, and they can shut it down anytime. So it's kind of true. Solana's kind of centralized. But this one, it's ridiculous. $320 millions worth of Ether were exploited through the chain. Now, here's a problem with, like I said in a video yesterday. If you haven't seen it, catch that video on my channel. When you have bridges and you bridge over a token, let's say Ether from the Ethereum blockchain to WEther on the Solana blockchain, you're supposed to keep a peg of the same number of Ethereums on both chains. You don't want to create new Ethereums out of thin air. You don't want to have less Ethereum out of thin air when you bridge over. You want to make sure that the Ethereum numbers are the same across different chains. And that is the rule. That is the golden rule of all of these bridges. I know there's Wormhole, there's all these other bridges, AnySwap, multi-chain. So they all need to be. Solana is like the McDonald's ice cream of crypto. Yeah, kind of true. They're always broken. Something's wrong. So when you have these bridges, you want to make sure that the number of tokens that you bridge over are the same. And usually they have some sort of contract or the code that make sure that ensures that the values are the same. They don't generate new values. But in this case, somebody found an exploit. Now, this is a rumor. I'm not sure if it's true, but somebody added a new code. Well, the dev team added a new code on the Solana side of Wormhole. And that was like 9 hours ago. About 9 hours ago, they added a new code. And then that was immediately exploited by people. That was immediately, like almost immediately, it was exploited. Because the code was so shitty, it was so bad, they got exploited. So people were like, oh, is this an inside job? Is this because somebody inside of Solana or Wormhole knew about this? And they're like, oh, if you're a dev, imagine you're a dev, and there's a $320 million in front of you. And you get paid what? Let's say you're a super pro dev who knows a lot of good stuff, and they pay you $500,000 a year to work on this. But then you found out, oh, you know what? There's a way I can get $320 million in Ether immediately. I could retire. I could take that money and run. I could do a lot of things. Right? So you could totally do that. I mean, if I was that, I'm not saying it's wrong to steal from people, right? So this is pretty much what they're doing. They're stealing. But then, I mean, you wouldn't know unless you're put in that situation. I mean, we could all say now, oh, I wouldn't do it because this is not right. This is wrong to do because you want to make sure that, you do the right thing, and just. But then if there's $320 million in front of you, you want to make sure that your head is in the right space. And I don't know. I'm not saying this is an inside job, but it could possibly be an inside job because we don't know who did it. But what's happened is this person exploited the code base in expert style. Now, I'm not saying it's easy to do it. So there was a very detailed thread on how this whole thing happened. And it takes a lot of technical knowledge to perform this hack, this exploit. So whoever they are, I mean, they already took the money. So the Solana Wormhole team went out and say, "Dear hacker," it's funny, like every time they get hacked, they come out with these "Dear hacker" messages, like, "Please return the money, we'll pay you $10 million." That's pretty much what they say. Like, I'll pay you $10 million if you return the full $320 million. Now, there's argument for people who are like, you know what, I want to return it because, it's not easy to launder $320 million because you're gonna need to go through different places to wash that money, like Sifu, going to Tornado Cash or something, try to cash out to centralized exchange. But that's most likely it's going to get traced because everything is on blockchain. So if they find out you eventually cash out via this, you're going to get wrecked. So it's not easy to launder this unless you're a professional. So yeah, some people may take the $10 million, but again, it's their word. But just to warn you, Vitalik definitely mentioned the danger of having bridges. And in this case, it happened. And it happened to be the second largest DeFi hack. $320 million gone. So how are they going to fix this? I heard Solana team is going to buy 320 million of Ether and then put it back into the system just to balance it out between Solana and Ethereum. I don't know. Because $320 million is not cheap. How are you going to buy $320 million like because of this hack? Like, so what's going to happen to the hacker? Are they just going to run away with the money? Like, you kind of incentivize people to hack because of that, right? It's still developing. There's a lot of news around this, so it doesn't look good to us. it's, as you can see, it's all over. CNBC, rollers, Cointelegraph, like everywhere. This is not good for crypto. You're gonna have bad actors, and this is like the danger. So if you are in any bridges, if you're using any bridges, like be careful. Nothing is safe. I think Wormhole was pretty popular among everyone. It's one of the most popular ones. So nothing is safe. I know there's AnySwap, there's multi-chain, and there's Synapse Bridge. They all do different, like similar things, but they all run via different codes. So it's always there's a possibility of getting exploited, no matter what project. That's the takeaway from DeFi projects, is that you have to take that risk. If you invest in this, you just have to take that risk of potentially getting hacked. So I'm not sure where that fund come from. It's probably from the teens fund or from people. I'm not sure. So yeah. So that is the big news, the big major news today. So oops. And here's like explain like on 5 version of that hack. Now I read the other explanation for the hack, but this seems to be incorrect, I think. So you could read, we could go over it, but just keep in mind that this may not be correct because it's much more technical than this. So basically what they're saying is to create WETH on their chain, Solana checks that there's a valid signature, and that signature comes from the guardian. Proper usage means there's a valid signature from a guardian. So both needs to be correct. The signature and the guardian needs to be correct. These 2 conditions match, so the request is approved. That's how you can bridge over. Now they expect that an attacker will issue an invalid signature, incorrect, from the guardian, correct. So they're trying to do, like if the attacker issue an invalid signature to a correct guardian, these 2 conditions do not match, so the request is denied. I mean, that's a good logic. That's a standard logic, and it's fine. Now, what is the hack? The attacker issue an invalid signature, incorrect, from a non-guardian, also incorrect. But these 2 conditions match. Incorrect matches incorrect. So the request is approved. And that's how the ETH was stolen from Solana network. This tells you how incompetent the dev teams are on Solana. I am shitting on Solana right now, and I know I think it's a popular thing to shit on Solana. But if you're any programmer, if you have any experience developing stuff, this is a very basic thing that you gotta guard against. When you develop things, you have to write tests, right, in the code to ensure that all of this stuff is guarded against, especially blockchain, because once you deploy the code, the exploit is out there. You're gonna have bugs, people's gonna take advantage, and you got millions of dollars on the line. So if you're a programmer, this was the reason. The check was this instead of N. So it really sucks. It's a very beginner-ish mistake that costs people hundreds of millions of dollars and costs us the price of all of our assets to go down. So it affects all of us, and it sucks. And now that this is when they wrote this, I didn't know that the error, the bad code was committed to the code base like 9 hours ago. So when they committed that, you know, I love the comment. This is the kind of stuff that Charles Hoskinson means when he says move fast and break things. Well, of course. I mean, Cardano, I haven't seen any hack in Cardano at least, but this Solana hack is such a BS, like terrible beginner mistake. How are you gonna pay devs like 6-figure salary, maybe 7-figure salary to work on this when they make this, and you don't have tests to guard against that? This is just bad. I'm so glad I don't have anything in Solana. I don't want to deal with Solana. Even though I don't know how it's so popular, probably by VC. It's probably in the exit liquidity for VCs when you invest in Solana. So I want to get away from that. Yeah, this is like the basics of programming, but somebody made that mistakes, and there's the hack. So basically the hacker was able to print a lot of ether out of thin air, and then they transfer it back to the Ethereum mainnet, and then they sell it right there, maybe do Uniswap or something for cash. It's that easy. If you can print money, you bridge it back, and you cash out. It's that easy. So like it's dangerous when you do bridges. Like bridges in general is dangerous. You have to make sure it's consistent across both sides, otherwise you're gonna have problem. Now I don't even know how they're gonna solve this. All of a sudden you have more Ethereum on, well, no, you have less Ethereum on Solana side than the Ethereum mainnet. Now it's imbalanced. How are you gonna do it? They were like, oh, we're just gonna buy ETH and then deposit it into Solana. But then like, wait a second. The total number of ETH cannot change when you bridge. So I'm not sure how that solves the problem. I don't think there's a way to solve this. I don't know. Maybe the hard fork, whatever. All code commits should be reviewed by a team. Of course, there should be, but the code. I've been in. I mean, I've coded before, and people miss things doing reviews, like basic things. So you cannot trust the team to do this. So yeah, so I don't think there's some truth to it, but I don't think this is exactly what happened. It's not as simple because there are better threads out there about what exactly happened. So it kind of sucks, but yeah. So that's all I want to say about this hack. It sucks, but it happened. So now, the moment you've been waiting for. I want to show you the behind the scenes of Sifu and Dani. So Sifu's the guy on the left, Dani's the guy on the right. This is the behind the scene look of how they planned this whole Wonderland thing. Let's go to Wonderland a little bit. I know you guys want to talk about that.
Working at the bank. Doesn't matter the position, okay? Just so long as we get in there, right? Then we just go there every day, do the work, gain their trust until we get them in the palm of our hand.
All right. That's how we get the money.
That's the beauty of it, bro. They deposit the money into our bank accounts. Week after week, month after month. They're not even gonna know they being robbed. And then 20, 30 years later, we walk out the front door like nothing even happened.
Mother, that's called a job!
First of all, you and me.
So that's the behind the scenes. They plan Wonderland really well. So I'm not defending them, but I find this funny. It's like after Wonderland, everything applies to these guys. It's pretty funny. Everything I watch. We're gonna work for you guys. We're gonna do our best to make money for you. And then in 20 years, you're all gonna be rich. Even though they want to come. I'm not defending them, but I'm just saying I thought it was funny. Yeah, so Sifu has been pretty active on Twitter. He defended himself on Twitter a lot. He trolls a lot too. So it seems like he's got quite a bit of time on his hands to, to just answer people, I guess. And you can see like his personality on Twitter is very different than his Discord personality before he was doxxed. So now you see the trollish side. Here's him defending his story, his past. He's like, critical fraud as a child 20 years ago does not make one career fraudster. I paid for my mistakes before half this crypto trader was born. If the punishment was not sufficient, it should have been increased. I should not have to spend my entire life repeatedly punished for this. He's like, at 20, you're an adult, not a child. It could be as a public figure to have responsibility for your action. You are not a victim, Sifu. You have scammed so many people in your lifetime. There's little evidence of you demonstrating any remorse. I took responsibility for my action before paying my debt to society. Being nearly 40 now, I feel like many of my actions in 20s were childish. You understand when you grow up. So I went over this yesterday. Yeah, but Quadriga was 3 years ago. 3 years ago, dude. And of course, he defended himself. He's like, I had nothing to do with Quadriga or something. But the dude ran Quadriga with the co-founder. Yeah, and here's like a backstory of why Dani walked back on his thing to shut down things anyway. So this is a pretty long thread. He's like, I haven't robbed anyone. I think you read the wrong tabloid, sir. What do you mean, rug of a DAO? The DAO elected an Anon treasury manager. The DAO then voted to have me to step down. Both decisions were honored. DAO seems functional to me. The vote to keep Wonderland alive was the vote that's not honored. They said it was close to 50-50, sir. For 10 amount of ETH, I used... So he's like saying, calling Dani out for shutting it down anyway, even though it was not 50-50. So he's like, many frogs and I felt betrayed by those tweets by Dani. And Dani woke up to an angry panda. So I guess Sifu called Dani when Dani was like, yo, I'm gonna shut it down anyway, even though the vote's not 50-50. He listened, and my understanding is that those statements were walked back. Please check Discord. Yep, so Dani walked back his statement. We're no longer gonna shut down Wonderland anyway. But still, the price sucks. So there's some enlightening statements from Sifu, so we can see some of the stuff behind the scenes, like how he's actually talking to defend himself. And here's like, there are people attacking Zach, who's the guy who disclosed this whole thing, who blew the whistle. Well, not the whistleblower, he's more like investigating the whistleblower, the whistle itself. So yeah, why is everyone attacking Zach? And then Sifu's like, knock destroy lives and cost investor millions of personal gain. Why indeed? I'm not sure about this statement. Why would narcotic officer destroy lives? So I disclosed my status as Anon, and that was respected. I couldn't have been, and I could have been anyone, and that was okay with the community, who voted me with over 99% approval. When did we start demanding background checks in DeFi? I never claimed to have a perfect history, and was never asked. Kinda true. Yeah, it's kind of. And now we got this thing here. This is an actual dude talking about Dani's name. This guy is from Bitfinex. Apparently a pretty sketchy exchange. They got fined. The guys behind Tether. Apparently they know Dani really well. So here's like a video. I'm not going to play it, but the dude speaking Italian was talking about Dani, how he's like the upcoming star or something. Sketchy stuff. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how deep this hole goes. But it's like Dani's a member of the club. Just I have no idea. I don't want to go too deep into it. But it's in Italian if you guys want to watch it. Alright, now we got more memes. I like this one. An interview with Frog Nation about the Wonderland experience.
Dat zal zijn, hoe reageer je daar dan op?
Ja, eerst met over ongeloof. Ongeloof is eigenlijk het juiste woord.
Excuseer.
Ongeloof is eigenlijk het juiste woord dat ik hier hanteert. Dat was bij mij dus ook de eerste gewaarwording. En ik dacht, dat kan niet.
Excuseer, dames en heren. Dus je probeert dan terug je toekomst. Sorry. Excuseer. Sorry, echt. Sorry. Excuseer, dames en heren. Dat betekent ook dat bijvoorbeeld seksualiteit ook een groot probleem bijvoorbeeld wordt.
Ja, mijn vriend heeft het gewoon gedaan gemaakt. En ik wil hem daar ook niet kwalijk.
Plus het feit als je met seks omgaat, is het niet alleen het fysieke dat telt, maar ook soms de lieve woordjes.
Oh my god. I feel bad for laughing.
Dus dat dit echt niet kan, moeten we nu nog antwoorden of niet ontvangen? Ja, dat is eigenlijk liever.
Excuseer, ik vond het een beetje thuis bij de excuses hiervoor. We hadden een vraag uit het publiek aan Ja, meneer, je had een opmerking.
Ik heb het zelfs Ik ben eigenlijk wel vrij eenvoudig en je hebt ook die kwestie van de stemman. Maar
Ik vind dus dat ik kan horen dat ze willen, dus dat
ik vind het zo vrij erg.
When Oh god. I'll send that to you guys. Oh my god. I feel so conflicted laughing about this, even though I was the frog. Oh my god. I think that's a good one. That's a great one. Whoever did this, props to you, sir. Hilarious. So unfortunately, you know how that's how Wonderland and it's ending up now. We became memes. It's sad. We became memes. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure how we're gonna get back. Is there a way back? Now there are proposals out there. Don't worry, I'm aware of them. Wonderland 2.0. I think the one by Professor is really well done, and I think we hopefully that gets through the voting. I don't know who the professor is though, but apparently his proposal is getting a lot of people to look into it, and I think all the things that he outlined were really well done. So what's gonna happen is most likely they're gonna try to, well, it's one thing to propose something, but it's another thing to actually do it. So the proposal by the professor might not be easily doable because it requires a lot of people to buy into certain things for the Wonderland DAO. It's gonna take time, and I'm not sure if time is what we have. Like, not talking about the coin, but more like the units of measurement. It just keeps going down. We've been in this holding pattern for so long. I'm not sure what the next step is. Like, well, we're gonna go lower than 10K and pretty much just down. We're down like 95% compared to all-time low to all-time high. Now 95%. That's how much we're down. So it's sad. It's sad. We all believed this project at some point. We all bought into the hype, and we all, you know, wanted this whole thing to succeed. Even though we still have do we even have $1 billion treasury anymore? I don't even know how much we have there. We were making almost $1 million a day according to Sifu, but I'm not sure if that's true anymore. So it's really, we're in a really weird spot. And crypto itself, it's not doing so well. Okay, anyway, the market opened. Let's see. Let's take a look at the market. So the stock market's open. Tech obviously getting destroyed. Facebook, let's take a look. Holy crap. Facebook's down 25.92%. That is huge. Holy, look at the chart. It's down here. Facebook. Wow, it's back to 2021 level. It's back to here, at the support here. No, it's back to 2020. Facebook's stock price is back to September 2020. Now, that's a huge drop. That's a huge drop. I'm not sure what they're gonna do, but this is, you know, this is crazy. And it's kind of gonna affect crypto as well. So if you look at Bitcoin, we're holding the support right now. There's a huge buy to, whoa. So was there a dip to 35K? So we actually come back up a little bit. Ethereum holding on okay. Hopefully we get a bounce. But Facebook 26% is still going. Let's see the other stocks like Apple. Apple's doing all right. I heard Amazon's getting destroyed. Holy shit. Amazon's down 140 bucks. Jeez. Like, all of these tech stocks are totally getting wrecked. Spotify. Spotify down 12%. Like all the tech's getting wrecked. Square, which buy and sell Bitcoin on their app, it's down 5%. Man, look at the chart of Square. This is ugly. Ugly. Everything's ugly right now. Holy. So we're not the only one down. Crypto's down. Traditional markets down. There's really not much we can do aside from watching. I'm not sure if you guys do stocks, but this is... Yeah, Facebook renamed their app to Meta, and they are paying the price. I'm not sure it's coming from Meta, but people are escaping their platform quite a bit, and they don't. Kathy Wood. So for those of you who don't know, Kathy Wood pioneered the ARK index fund, and ARK is getting destroyed too. It's down like 50% from all-time high. This is the thing about simping for founders. Like people were simping for Kathy Wood. She's like the other one of those investment managers. People was like, she's gonna be the best. All the stocks she pick, every time she buys a stock, it goes up. Well, now the narrative has changed, and all of her stocks in her portfolio are going to the toilet. That's how fast things can move. And similar to the story of Wonderland, that's how fast things can move. One day you're the best DeFi founder, most charismatic founder like Dani, and then the next day everyone's shitting on you to the point where you have a mental breakdown. So this is brutal. This is not an easy game. Investing is brutal. You have to be able to adjust to the environment quickly, but things can move very fast. There's an old saying of stairway up, elevator down. And as you can see from many of these charts, look at this. Look at 2020. 2020 to 2021. This is a year everything went up this way. Everything. Everybody kept buying with their stimulus money in the States, and then now it started to drop. When it drops hard and fast. So this is like within 2 months, we just lost almost everything. It's brutal. So what's the lesson? I guess to take profit, especially in crypto, because something, when it goes up so quick, so fast, for example, BSGG, you get out. So I'm not sure who pumped BSGG at that point, like when this. It's so funny, like this chart for BSGG. I remember talking about it, like when Sifu announced it, BSGG is going to be partnered with Wonderland. It went from here, 0.08 all the way up to 0.17. Like it doubled in a day. That's when you take profit, when the first red candle happens like this. I'm not saying it'll always happen, but when you have a giant green bars like this is like my example of having sexy time, right? So you build up the tension, you build up the foreplay, and then your green candle goes up and you're ready to work. Now this first red candle is when you reach peak. You start to feel like, oh, my tools feeling it, and I mean I have a good time up here. I have a really good time, but then you're like, oh man, I need to get rid of some of that tension in my tool. So that's when the first red candle starts. When you have that, you got to get ready to to cash out. Call the cabs after. You call your Uber when you feel this, right? You call your Uber when you feel this, because in the next few minutes you're gonna be done. And that's exactly what happens in a crazy hive movement like this. When you go up fast, and you go up big like fast. When you go down, when you're finishing, it's just done. You got all red candles, and then when you're done, like this is when you go into your cab, you're going home, and then nothing happens. You're pretty much done, because your performance was so bad, like she'll never call you back, and now you're just left with this side candle where nothing happens for so long. You want some action for your candles, but no one wants to do anything with you. That's what I mean. You got to be careful. Whenever you notice that first candle like this, you got to get out. That's how, that's my experience. So my experience, side swing trading, usually this is a rejection candle. So there's my TA tip of the day. It sort of applies to most things. Let's do Jewel. So it kind of applies to jewels as well. If you take a look at the daily candle, you got the excitement stage. Look at it, everybody's buying. Some people is like, oh, let me hold on a little bit with the foreplay. And then like now this is a sexy time. This is a sexy time. Now this is a chart when you go 2 rounds, right? Sometimes people can go both rounds when you do sexy time. And you want to make sure you control yourself, give yourself some break. So this is the first sexy time. You're like, all right, I'm the man. And then here's like when you're done, sexy time, you got to take a break. Here's when you take a break. And then you're like, all right, I could go again. It's the second sexy time, and there's a green candle. And then here's like, you're really done. This is like, after the 2 rounds, you're done. Now, some people can go 3 rounds, 4 rounds, 5 rounds, but most people can only do 2 rounds. I'm not saying that I can only go 2 rounds, but most people can do only 2 rounds. And when they do 2 rounds, they just done. So like in this example, how do you even tell the charts? Like how? Well, this rejection candle here, it can be a false rejection, right? It could continue to go up, but when you have double top like that, usually it goes down. So, and this is what happened in this case. It's sad. It's really sad. I was euphoric. I was like the top of the world when it was up here. So I'm not sure if it'll happen again, but I wish that could happen again. Anyway, that's a lesson in TA. It's not always true, but most of the time the patterns do come out like this. It sucks. So yeah, unfortunately that's how the market works. That's how charts work. That's how you do TA. That's how you approach TA. That's my approach to TA. You may have your other opinions about how TA, how charts work, but that's my approach. And again, if you look at it, this is the famous McDonald's pattern or the Batman pattern. Nobody likes it. When you see this, you better get out, or you should get ready to fill your application at McDonald's, because if you don't get out, that's what's going to happen. And that's what happened to me. It's terrible. Now, let's go for some good news. What is the good news? Well, the IRS will not tax unsold staked crypto as income. That's the good news. So apparently there's like a lawsuit by some retired couple and against IRS because they were taxing them on the, I think it was, what's that token? Tezos. So they were staking the Tezos. They were staking the Tezos, and the IRS was like, you gotta pay your money because you were staking. Now, I think this relates to us because we staked our time token to get memo. So it looks like rebases are not gonna get taxed. This is the law. This is the law. So this is a win for crypto. The IRS offer a refund on untraded token rewards. So if you didn't trade your token and you made money from staking, you don't have to pay the taxes if you're still staking. Again, I am not a tax professional, but that's what this article is saying. So if you do sell your staked token for profit, you have to pay taxes on that. But if you don't do it, continue to stake it for however long, then you don't have to pay taxes. So these guys were actually rewarded for 302,095 money in income tax for 800 Tezos tokens. So they got a lot of Tezos tokens, they were staking it, and now they got a refund. So this is a big win. I think when you have a win like that, it sort of applies. If you're in the United States, it applies to the rest. So I think that's bullish. Finally, there's a good news for crypto holders, and people might want to stake longer now. They might want to continue to stake to see if they can avoid paying those taxes. Before this, people were like, oh, every time I get a increase in my stake token, I had to pay the short-term tax, which is a lot in the United States, but now you don't have to. So this is still early in the regulation department in the United States. So I'm not sure they're gonna make it like an actual rule in the IRS book, but maybe, just maybe, we're gonna get this law applied to all of us and formally apply to the IRS's tax rule for crypto. I think that's going to be a good news for all of us. Yeah, I don't know. We are doing quite bad if you look at our charts. We are trying to come back, but it seems like, yeah. The only NFT that I'm into are DeFi Kingdoms, because it's actually a game NFTs that could use to, you can buy lands, you can buy heroes to do jobs for you, to make money for you. And I think we're all in it to make money, right? So when you invest something, you want that to make money for you. And I think that's the only way people want to invest. So, okay. I'm feeling so energyless today, like Jeb Bush. No, don't bring top politics. I'm just saying, for some reason I woke up today with no energy. I had a crazy dream last night. It's nothing related to crypto or anything. I just had like this dream of my grandma, with who I never really met. But for some reason in that dream, I was with my grandma and we were at a dinner table. Whole family was. And then we realized that she was gonna pass away. It was really sad. I woke up super sad for some reason because of that. It's how weird how dreams can mess with your emotions. I'm sure you guys have all of that before. So please, it made me realize that you should take care of people around you. You should value the people around you while they're still around. Your family is probably the closest thing you can have in your whole life. Now, if you don't get along with your family, I would try to figure out a way to get along with them, because family is important. I think it's important. You're only in this journey once in your life, and your family are the people who are always gonna be there for you, because they're your life and they're your blood. And to share that experience with everyone, I think that's a total valuable thing to have. It's something like you should cherish. So I felt really sad when I woke up. I felt like, I don't know, dreams can be weird. Anyway, sorry for the rant, but just saying, you guys should take care of your family, take care of your friends, take care of people who are close to you. Money is one thing in the life. I know money is part of life, but I think people is more important than life. Money can be won, money can be lost. When you trade, you take that full responsibility, right? When you trade. But people cannot be gained back. When you lost people, it's hard to get them back. When you lose people in life, like, it's gone. People, when they die, it's gone. So money, you can be made back. So please, I've seen so many stories because of Wonderland. People are feeling terrible. They want to end their life and stuff like that. Like, it's a terrible feeling. I'm sure it's a terrible feeling. But please, there are always people, in real life who are there for you. Like, reach out to your family. I'm sure they'll do their best to help you. Like I said, money, it is the root of all evil. But at the same time, we can't live in a society without money. Money help us, allow us to do things. But when you lose money, you feel terrible. Trust me, I lost a ton of money this year. A ton of money. Just since Thanksgiving last year. A lot more than I can afford. So what is the mindset? I mean, my mindset is always keep moving forward. You can make that back, but I mean, there's nothing you can do to make that back right now, but get your life back together, be strong. That's how you can turn it around. You got to stay positive. If you let the negative thoughts go through your head this whole time, it's gonna make you sadder and more depressed. Try to exercise, try to eat well. It helps. It totally helps. It's an underrated thing to help you. I'm not a big fan of medicine and drugs. I'm more of a fan of a natural thing, like exercises, good diet, to turn your mood around. Trust me, I've been in terrible places for the past few months. I've been in terrible places, and on top of that, I lost a ton of money. So this is like a double whammy. It's definitely the worst time of my life, and it's crazy how I'm still here. And partially was due to this. Like I was able to express things like that to all of you guys, to have you guys share some of the experiences and to hear you guys back. So this is, you know, this is something I sorry, I didn't expect it to talk about all of this stuff on this stream, but let me just be serious for a moment. You know, I know I troll sometimes, but just want to help you guys out. I think for me, I figure like helping people out is something that brings joy to me, that can help me get over this, I guess I'm trying to distract myself from all of this negativity in my life. And I'm not saying terrible. I am in better place than most people, in my opinion. There are people who are homeless. There are people who have no jobs. There are people who are totally broke, paycheck to paycheck. If you look at it that way, we are, I guess I am, a bit better than these people in that department. So you got to be thankful for that. Now you want to help out, you know, people who are in a less fortunate position than you, and you want to share. You know, I think human beings, we like to share our experiences with people, and that's how we get like help each other together. And that's also my goal. If I ever get rich, if I ever get to like, I don't know, Sifu Dani's level of wealth, I'm gonna try to help people, because there's no point of like going to the beaches all day, drive Lambo, like that stuff gets old, you know. That stuff gets old. You can only do this stuff for a few years, and then it gets really old. I think human beings need purpose in life. We need purposes in life in order to continue to find meaning in our lives, and you got to find that. Some people may never find it. They'll just burn all of their money on hookers and blows and beaches, pina coladas, but they'll never find the meaning to their life. That's why you see a lot of rich people are still miserable, even though there's a lot of money from their bank account, they're still miserable. Why do rich celebrities kill themselves? Why are rich people depressed? Right? So money doesn't solve that problem. We know money doesn't solve that problem. It's actually, you have to figure out how to find meaning to your life. And I think finding meaning to your life is the way to cure that problem. So that was the rant, and it's kind of long, sorry about that, but I hope you guys take what I said and think about it, and look into the video I shared a few days ago about the Chinese farmer. I think that has helped me tremendously. And with that said, I think it's time to end the stream. I had to go to work, but truly appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for staying with me through this whole drama, and definitely see you guys next time. Have a great day, guys.